Oh man, can you imagine?
One of them showed up.
Can you imagine you're a Philadelphia sports fan. You've got what do we call? You've got fandom. You've got it.
Yeah,
Philadelphia sports fans, some of the most passionate in sports. And on the positive side, passionate means you love sports, and we as sports fans around the country can relate to your passion and your love of your city and your love of your sports teams there in Philadelphia. That's the good part of passionate. The other part of passionate, when it's for a Philadelphia sports fan, is the nice way to call you folks a-holes. That's a fact. And it's the same thing for New York sports fans. It's the same thing for Boston sports fans. It's the Northeast sports fans. You are a passionate sports fan, which means great. And the other way, it's not so great. Could you imagine you have the disposable income that you just kind of poked fun at me about, TJ Jefferson?
Why would I poke fun? It was an admiration.
Could you imagine having that amount of cash to say, I'm going to go on the secondary ticket market because I don't have tickets or whatever, just to go to the Sixers home game with First Union, right? Mm-hmm. Just to go there and want to be the first. So when Ben Simmons comes out in his street clothes, I want to tell him he sucks. Can't wait. I'm going to go there. I'm going to spend all that money. I can't wait. And then the game unfolds. And you can't do that because you are watching your team get smoked. And then lost amongst all the Ben Simmons booing and all of that business, and the fact that, Philadelphia sports fans that went there to go tell Ben Simmons that he was not welcome there. And by the way, every right to boo him, every right to say that this guy was a patent disappointment.
Yeah.
Every reason to do it, and every reason to say that he was somebody that Philadelphia chewed up and spat out. All of it. He wasn't playing last night, but all of it last night. I understand that. But amongst all of this, and that's kind of the shiny object in the room, is the fact that James Harden had an opportunity to show the Nets what they're missing, and he shot 3 of 17 from the floor.
Awful game.
3 of 17 from the floor. And Seth Curry, to show Philadelphia fans, hey, I know you had to get rid of Ben Simmons, but me too.
I wasn't happy
Seth
about
Curry, 10 of 14 from the floor. And he, with Kyrie and Durant, showed you that when Simmons is ready, and apparently he's still not even ready to get out and start practicing with the team, 5-on-5 and do any of that stuff. Apparently he's still that far away. I don't know what's going on there. But if Simmons comes back and plays anything close to peak Simmons in Philadelphia before everything else fell off the planet, look out. Look out. Or you could say that it's inconsistent enough that Kyrie still can't play at home and the Nets aren't going to be a threat because of it. And that you look at other 40-win teams in the East, with the Heat, by the way, being top of that flow chart. The Bucks, after everything else, could wind up being the 1 seed too. The Bulls and the flammable DeMar DeRozan and Chris Brockman's Boston Celtics. Now 13 games over 500.
Oh, baby.
Jason Tatum putting up 40 and 50 pieces left and right. And the Cavs are sitting there. Those are your 6 outside of the play-in tournament. Nets right now are sitting in a play-in tournament, and it looks like that's where they're going to reside. Mm-hmm. Looks like the Raptors Nets, by the way, for one game will be a highly entertaining contest.
And as they were pointing out on the Turner show last night, They're going to have to play one of those play-in games, most likely without
Kyrie because
Irving.
I don't think because Kyrie
maybe both.
Right now, Kyrie, it's like New York. You can't be unvaccinated and get into Canada.
Yeah.
So he's out for that. They'll have to be without Kyrie.
And if they win that and then have a home game against the 8, 9, 10, he can't play in that either.
Yeah, the first playoff game, if they're lucky, will be if he gets out of the play-in tournament, visiting Miami.
They kind of want to hope they're the road team in the play-in game. It's kind of weird.
But they are if they are the road team in the play-in game in Toronto,
it
doesn't
can't
matter.
play. It doesn't matter, right?
Which is why you see something like last night, you're like, how deep of a threat can the Nets be? And then, no, I know, honestly, like, because Kyrie might not play. One minute he is, next he isn't.
But when they are playing.
That was something else last night.
Yeah.
Because lost again amongst the whole Simmons stuff will be, all right, James, time to hit the road. Figuratively, time for the rubber to meet the road here. Let's go. Big games. What are you going to do in big games? Big games 5s, big game 7s, pivotal game 5s, big game 7s. Whole country's watching. Only game on right now. 3 of 17. Minus 30, which, by the way, Embiid was last night, too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what your number's going to be when the rest of your team is getting its ass kicked. 3 of 17 is not acceptable. Come on.
Yeah. Harden was 1 of 11 at one point, and then he was on the bench getting his calf worked on, and you're just like, here we go again. Another injury.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, I would be genuinely concerned.
Okay. So we had 3 games where like this was the best trade of all time. And then we have one game where
it's the best trade of all time. I said it looks like it's working
well. The collective
well.
basketball world, Rich was saying this.
Okay.
All right. And now we have one bad game. And it was a bad game. And now it's like,
I'm treating the NBA as if it was the NFL. Because, they can come back tonight or tomorrow night, look great, and then forget it. So who cares? I'm just pointing out, big game. Would have been nice. There's a lot on the line. Similar to a playoff atmosphere. 3 of 17.
And we said, I think you said Wells
317.
First Union. It's Wells Fargo.
My bad. I forgot my banks.
I was in my head.
Whatever.
Yeah. No biggie.
I can't figure out.
An L is an L, regardless where the game is played.
I took the L on the name of the building.
Yeah.
All right. So there was that one last night.
But they have 2 days off.
There was that one last night. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.